Hey guys, my name is Chris from the Mon Diver channel, and today I'm here in collaboration with the GetWetStore to help make sure you are familiar with and prepared to use your new dive mask. Whether you're using it for scuba diving, snorkeling, or simply swimming in a pool, there's a few things you need to know about a mask to one, make sure it's the right mask for you, and to two, give you a enjoyable experience underwater. So with that said, let's jump right into it. So one of the first things we're going to be talking about today is actually getting familiar with the mask itself. For this example, we're going to be using the ProMate Pro Viewer mask. This is a 2-lens mask featuring a black silicone skirt. When I'm talking about masks, there's a few different components to pay attention to. First off, you have the frame, which is the plastic ring around the lenses themselves. Then you have the lenses. This is a 2-lens mask, meaning that there are actually 2 individual lenses. These are made of tempered glass and can come in either standard or prescription, so that's something to be mindful of if you're still looking at ordering your mask. With your mask, you also have this silicone skirt, which goes around the outside, and that also encases the nose. On the inside, it's important to notice that your silicone skirt actually has 2 ridges here. This is important, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. On the side of your mask, you have your quick adjustment buckle. With these types of buckles, all you have to do is simply pull this extra piece of silicone, and this is going to tighten up. You can then also pull this back to open it up and loosen it. If you've already fitted your mask and you're just looking to remove it, you can actually simply press this quick release button here, and your buckle is going to come apart, and then you can simply put it back together by pressing it in just like so. Now, it's very important though to make sure that this is properly secure prior to your dive, because you want to make sure you don't lose your mask in the water. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to confirm you have a properly fitting mask. So before we get into actually trying the mask on, I do want to touch on facial hair. It's important to remember that if you have any sort of hair breaching the skirt, so getting between the mask and your face, there's a chance that you're going to have water leaking in. Whether that be facial hair or long hair, it all needs to be managed. If you have facial hair, if you're able to go clean shaven, that's going to give you your best chance to seal. However, if you're not able to go clean shaven, you can simply just trim the hair underneath your nose, or you can use products such as Vaseline or Mask Seal, which is a substance that will go over top of your mustache, and that can help smooth out that hair to help potentially give you a better seal. If you have long hair, it's best to try and keep it away from the front of your face, especially when you're putting your mask on, whether that be using a ponytail or some other sort of hair retainer. It's important to try and give the mask the best chance possible to seal on your face. Now that we've talked about how to prepare your face for the mask, we need to talk about how to actually test the mask. We can do this indoors. We don't need water, and this is actually something very important to do when you get your mask to make sure it is the right mask for you before you put too much time and effort into getting it sized and getting it ready for use. Now, to test a mask indoors, all you have to simply do is press the mask against your face. And we are going to inhale through our nose, and we are going to be looking for an airtight seal. To do this, I would recommend putting the mask strap in front. That way you're not getting that guy in the way and confusing the seal with maybe having your strap too tight. So I really do recommend not using the mask strap when doing this. So what I'm going to do here in a moment is I'm going to press the mask against my face. I'm going to inhale through my nose. I am looking for the mask to basically suction cup to my face to the point that I don't feel any more air coming in through my nose. If I hear air or feel air coming in, there's a sign that I have a leak somewhere and I need to take a look at what's causing that. There is a potential that if you have deep laugh lines or wrinkles that you might get some air seeping in through there. You could also have a fold in your skin depending on how you put the mask on, so you might need to smooth that skin out to get a better seal. But in general, you should have an airtight seal when you do that inhale test. If it's airtight, it means it's watertight, and there's a good chance that it's not going to leak on you underwater. To demo this right now, I'm just going to put my mask on my face like so. I'm going to inhale. All right. I couldn't hear any air coming in. I couldn't feel any air coming in. The mask was able to stay on my face without me holding it. And that is all of the signs that show that this is a properly fitting mask. All right, so now that we've determined this is the right size mask for me, next we're going to talk about how to get it ready for its first dive, and then we're also going to talk about some tips and tricks to make sure you have an enjoyable experience with your mask moving forward. First off, we're going to talk about sizing the mask strap. It's very, very important to not over tighten your mask strap. As you learned earlier in this video, there is 2 layers to the inside silicone skirt. If you over tighten your mask and you deform this or smooth it out, that is actually going to cause water to leak in. So an overly tight mask strap can actually cause your mask to leak worse than if it was loose. It's better to keep your mask strap just tight enough to gently hold it on the front of your face. With your mask strap, it should be positioned right at the crown of your head. You want to pull those straps so it just holds it in place. You can always do the inhale test with the mask strap on to make sure that the mask is still sealing correctly, and that is going to give you a comfortable, enjoyable experience in the water. Next, we're going to talk about getting the lenses prepared for a dive. So one of the ways that manufacturers can keep their masks looking shiny in store is by putting a protective coating over the lenses. This is great when you're looking at buying your mask and when you get your new mask. However, this is not great when you get into the water. So it's really important to make sure you clean and prep the inside of your mask prior to your dive to help make sure you have a fog-free experience. Now, the best way to do this is to use, honestly, toothpaste. A non-abrasive toothpaste, something very simple and non-whitening, is going to be your best bet. You don't want it to have any sort of grit in it that can scratch the glass. All you need to do is put some toothpaste on the end of your finger, and you're going to rub it in the mask along the lenses. Do this on both sides, and then you're going to rinse your mask off. You're going to want to do this a couple times, and if you go and take your mask out on a dive and you are still finding the fog is building up, then you might want to look at re-toothpasting your mask when you get back to your hotel room or when you get back to your house or cottage. It does take a bit of time for a mask to break in, but once you break a mask in, they will fog up significantly less. And the next thing we're going to talk about here is fog management in general. All right, guys, and one of the last things we're going to talk about today is how to manage fog while diving. So it's very important to keep your vision clear underwater because, one, you want to be able to see stuff, and for safety, it's important to be able to see your surroundings. When you're diving, it's really important to remember that if you're wearing a mask that encases your nose, you are creating an airtight pocket around the front of your face, and anytime you exhale through your nose, you are trapping heat and condensation within your mask, and that is often going to bead on the internal glass, causing fog. So it's important to have proper airway control right off the bat, making sure that you are breathing in and out through your mouth when possible. Now, if you are getting fog building up inside your mask, there are a few different ways that you can manage this. You can use commercial defogs such as Gearade's Sea Drops. This is a commercial anti-fog solution that basically you put a drip on the inside of your mask prior to your dive. You rub it along the glass, you then dip it in the water to rinse it off, and then you put your mask on. Very important here, though, to not over rinse your mask, because if you wash off that anti-fog, it is not going to stick, and therefore it is going to not work throughout your dive, especially if you start to get that condensation building up halfway through your dive. Other methods of anti-fog solution are using baby shampoo, so no-tear shampoos can also help. You just want to make sure you're not going to be burning your eyes. In a real pinch, you can also use spit. So if you spit into your mask and you just rub it on the lens and just do the same thing as you would with the Sea Drops, just a little dip in the water and back on, that should help stop water from sticking to the lenses. But it's really important to make sure that you are washing your mask frequently if you're doing this, because you can start to get some bacteria growth growing inside the mask, and that's not fun. Other than that, guys, the biggest things to remember is make sure that you are helping that mask seal the best it can. If you're wearing a hood or any sort of cold water accessories, don't let the neoprene get in between the mask and your face. If you have long hair, make sure you're keeping that out of the way. Long-term tips for keeping your mask looking fresh is don't ever dry it in the sun. Protect it when possible. If you chose to pick up a protective case for your mask, these are great for travel because it means that the mask isn't going to get damaged in your bag or while you're traveling. And overall, guys, I hope you guys found this video really informative. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to the awesome sales team at the GetWetStore, or you can always follow me at Mondiver Channel and shoot me a message directly. I'm always happy to help, and we'll see you guys underwater.